The chandelier cast warm light across our family's formal dining room, where an intervention had been arranged about my concerning lifestyle choices. Mom had strategically seated everyone, my older sister Amanda in her Chanel suit, brother Marcus with his new Rolex prominently displayed, and Dad still in his CEO suit from the office. I arrived exactly on time wearing my usual simple black sweater and jeans, having taken the bus as always. "Sweetie," Mom began, adjusting her pearl necklace nervously, "we're worried about your financial situation." She glanced at my father, seeking support. The table was set with their finest china, as if they were trying to remind me of the lifestyle I was failing to maintain. Marcus couldn't help himself. "Seriously, James, you're 32. I saw you at the bus stop again yesterday. In the rain. It's embarrassing." He took a deliberate sip of his whiskey, the ice cubes clinking against the crystal. "The bus works fine for me," I replied calmly, checking my phone briefly. A notification from my garage security system flashed. The new Lamborghini Revuelto had been delivered successfully. I suppressed a smile. Amanda leaned forward, her diamond bracelet catching the light. "James, we're trying to help. You've been living like this since you left the investment firm. Taking public transportation, living in that tiny house in the industrial district." She shuddered delicately. "Speaking of which," Dad interjected, his CEO voice in full effect, "I've arranged an interview for you at Henderson Financial. Junior analyst position. It's not much, but it's a start." He smiled magnanimously, clearly pleased with himself. I took a slow sip of water, noting how they'd served everyone else wine. "That's thoughtful, Dad, but I'm satisfied with my current work situation." "What work situation?" Marcus scoffed. "Your private consulting that nobody's ever heard of? Come on, even my junior associates drive better cars than you." Mom reached across the table, patting my hand in what she thought was a comforting gesture. "Honey, we just want you to succeed. Your brother made partner at his law firm. Amanda's interior design business is thriving. And you?" She trailed off, looking pained. "And I take the bus," I finished for her, checking another notification. My asset manager had just confirmed the acquisition of 3 more rare vintage cars. My collection was now complete. "It's not just the bus," Amanda added. "You wear the same clothes all the time, you never join us at the country club and that neighborhood you live in." She wrinkled her nose. "The old warehouse district? Really?" Dad cleared his throat. "Son, this lifestyle you're choosing, it's affecting the family's reputation. The Hendersons, you remember their daughter Sarah from the club? They asked about you the other day. I had to make excuses." I maintained my calm demeanor, though internally I was amused. The warehouse they were so concerned about was actually my private showroom, housing what had just become the most valuable private car collection in the state. "We've decided," Mom announced, her voice taking on an artificial brightness, "to help you get back on your feet. We'll cover your down payment for a sensible car, maybe a nice Toyota." She looked at Dad for approval. Marcus snorted into his whiskey. "Make it a used Toyota. Teach him responsibility." My phone buzzed again. The final paperwork had been completed. Perfect timing. "That's very generous," I said, standing up slowly. "But perhaps you'd like to see my current transportation situation first?" "Oh, James," Amanda sighed, "we don't need to see the bus schedule." I pulled out a small remote from my pocket. "Actually, I just finished a little project in that warehouse you're so worried about. Would you like to take a look?" "Now." Mom looked flustered. "But we haven't even started the intervention properly." "Trust me," I said, allowing myself a small smile. "You'll want to see this." Dad frowned, checking his Patek Philippe watch. "Make it quick. We have actual solutions to discuss." "Of course," I replied, heading toward the door. "It's just across the street." As they reluctantly followed me out of their mansion, none of them noticed the small grin playing at the corners of my mouth. The warehouse district they'd been mocking was about to reveal its secret, and their carefully planned intervention was about to take an unexpected turn. I led my family across the street to what they'd always dismissed as my questionable warehouse. The modern security gate opened silently at my approach, causing Dad to raise an eyebrow at the sophisticated system. "Is this really necessary?" Marcus complained, his Italian leather shoes crunching on the pristine concrete. "We've all seen empty warehouses before." I positioned them in front of the massive steel door. You might want to prepare yourselves, I said, pressing my thumb to the biometric scanner. The door began to rise slowly, revealing a sight that made Mom's hand fly to her throat. Stadium lighting activated automatically, illuminating row after row of the world's most exclusive automobiles. Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Bugattis, and ultra-rare vintage cars gleamed under perfect lighting, each positioned on a rotating platform with museum-like precision. What is this? Dad stammered, his CEO composure cracking for the first time I could remember. Before I could answer, a voice called from inside. Mr. Peterson. Perfect timing. My collection manager, Thomas, approached in his impeccable suit. The new Lamborghini Revuelto has just been positioned. And Christies confirmed the auction estimate for the '62 Ferrari. They're saying $23 million minimum. Marcus's whiskey buzz evaporated instantly. 23 million? I stepped inside, gesturing for my stunned family to follow. Welcome to Peterson Automotive Collection. Currently valued at just over $380 million. I paused by the gleaming blue Lamborghini. This one's my newest addition. $4.8 million if anyone's interested in the Toyota alternative. Mom's perfectly manicured hand trembled as she pointed to a red Ferrari. That's impossible. That's a 250 GTO. There are only 36 in the world. 37 actually, I corrected. The warehouse next door houses my restoration facility. We just finished rebuilding one from original specifications. Made quite a few headlines in the collector world. Amanda's designer heel caught as she stumbled backward. Headlines? What headlines? Thomas stepped forward, tablet in hand. Shall I show them the Forbes article, sir? Or perhaps the Wall Street Journal feature on your collection's impact on the luxury car market? The Wall Street Journal? Dad's voice cracked. You're in the Wall Street Journal? I walked them past a row of classic Aston Martins. That private consulting you were concerned about? I advise ultra-high net worth individuals on rare car acquisitions. That tiny house in the industrial district? It's actually 5 connected warehouses housing the most valuable private car collection in North America. Marcus's Rolex suddenly looked very small. But the bus is excellent for the environment, I finished. Plus, it gives me time to manage my overseas acquisitions. Speaking of which, I turned to Thomas. How's the Dubai negotiation going? The Sheikh accepted your offer, sir. The rare Bugatti collection will arrive next month. Would you like me to show your family the rendering of the new wing we're building to house it? Mom swayed slightly and Dad grabbed her elbow. A whole wing, for Bugattis? Amanda whispered. 7 of them, I said casually. All pre-war, all one of a kind. The acquisition made some noise in the collector world. That's actually why Christies is here. As if on cue, the clicking of professional heels echoed through the showroom. A woman in a sharp business suit approached, flanked by 2 photographers. Mr. Peterson, everything's ready for tomorrow's photo shoot. The magazine wants to feature the collection on their cover. She stopped, noticing my family. Oh, I apologize. Should I come back? No need, Miss Hartford. My family was just learning about my concerning financial situation. I couldn't help but smile slightly. How many collectors reached out about the auction? Over 40 billionaires so far. Your restoration of the Ferrari has the whole industry talking. The waiting list for your consulting services is now 2 years long. Dad's face had gone from red to white. Consulting services? My minimum fee is $2 million per acquisition, I explained, plus a percentage of the car's value. Last year's revenue was... I glanced at Thomas. $147 million, sir. This year we're projecting $210 million, not including the Dubai acquisition. Marcus actually had to sit down on a nearby bench, designed to let visitors admire the Porsche collection. But you take the bus. Because I love cars too much to see them stuck in traffic, I replied. Besides, my garage space is better used for this. I gestured to a silver Aston Martin DB5. James Bond's actual car from Goldfinger. That one caused quite a bidding war. The Christie's representative cleared her throat. Mr. Peterson, about tomorrow's valuation. Of course, I said. Would my family like to stay and watch the world's top auction house assess their son's concerning car collection? The photographers might want some family photos for the magazine cover. Mom's pearls had become entangled in her trembling fingers. Dad's proud CEO posture had deflated entirely. Amanda was staring open-mouthed at a yellow McLaren, and Marcus couldn't tear his eyes away from the Ferrari that was worth more than his law firm. Unless, I added innocently, you'd prefer to continue the intervention about my financial choices? The following week's family dinner had a markedly different atmosphere. Gone were the condescending smirks and dismissive comments. Instead, my family sat in awkward silence at their massive dining table, watching me calmly enjoy my appetizer while occasionally checking notifications about upcoming auctions. "So James," Dad began, his voice lacking its usual authoritative tone, "I heard from the Hendersons again. Apparently Sarah's been quite interested in your automotive ventures." I glanced up from my phone. "Interesting. I just declined their membership application to my collectors club. 3-year waiting list, very exclusive. Only billionaire collectors allowed." I turned to Marcus. "Your law firm's managing partner is on the waiting list too. Perhaps you could put in a good word." Marcus nearly choked on his wine. I could talk to him." "No need," I replied. "His application is being processed. Unlike some people, he never mocked others for taking public transportation." Amanda cleared her throat. "About that warehouse district. I mean your showroom area. I have some clients who would love to. Interior design for my facilities is handled by Philippe Stark's team." I cut in smoothly. "But I appreciate the interest." Mom fiddled with her napkin. "Honey, about that intervention, we were just worried." "About my Toyota budget?" I smiled, checking another notification. "Interesting timing. The Sheikh just confirmed our dinner in Dubai next month. He's fascinated by my restoration techniques." "Dubai." Dad's fork clattered against his plate. "You're dining with Sheikh Al Maktoum?" "Yes, after he tours my collection. His private jet's making a special stop here." I paused. "Speaking of tours, the governor called. He'd like to host a charity gala at my showroom. Very exclusive guest list." The silence that followed was deafening. "I assume," I continued, "you'd all like to attend? It would be good for the family's reputation. The one you were so concerned about." "We'd be honored," Mom whispered. "Excellent. Though there is the matter of appropriate transportation." I looked pointedly at Marcus's prized BMW. "The dress code includes arriving in classic or exotic cars. Nothing less than $200,000 will be permitted through the gates." Marcus's face fell. Amanda's fingers twisted nervously. "Perhaps," I suggested, "you could all take the bus? I hear it's quite reliable." Dad set down his cutlery. "Son, we may have misjudged your choices." "They have." I raised an eyebrow. "Let's be clear about the new family dynamic. My private consulting brings in more annually than all of your incomes combined. That empty warehouse houses a collection worth more than this entire estate. And my client list includes people who buy and sell companies like yours, Dad, as weekend hobbies." The weight of this reality settled over the table like a heavy blanket. "However," I continued, softening slightly, "family is important to me. So here's how this will work going forward. No more interventions. No more mockery of anyone's choices, whether they take buses or private jets. And most importantly, success is no longer measured by what you drive, but by what you contribute." "Of course," Mom quickly agreed. The others nodded vigorously. "Good. Now about that charity gala." I pulled out my phone. "I'm donating 10 cars, total value around $40 million, to fund education programs in underprivileged areas. I expect matching donations from each of you, proportional to your means." Dad's eyes widened. $40 million in cars? It's called giving back, Dad. Something this family could learn more about. I stood up, checking my watch. "Now if you'll excuse me, I have a video call with Jay Leno about his car collection. He needs my advice on some acquisitions." "Jay Leno?" Amanda squeaked. "Yes. He's much nicer than our family about transportation choices, by the way." I headed for the door, then turned back. "Oh, and Marcus? That Rolex you keep flashing? It's a fake. Next time, consult me before buying luxury items." I can spot counterfeits across a room. Marcus's face turned scarlet as he tried to discreetly slide his sleeve over the watch. I'll have my assistant send details about the gala. Business attire, no flashy logos. Real success doesn't need to advertise itself. I smiled. As you've all learned. Walking out to where my driver waited with a subtle but immaculate Rolls-Royce, I heard them erupting into hushed, urgent conversation behind me. No doubt already calling their accountants about those matching donations. The car purred to life as I settled into the leather seats. My phone buzzed with another notification. Christies had just confirmed the final auction estimates. The family's intervention about my financial situation would make an amusing anecdote during my upcoming TED Talk about hidden success. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's success so massive it leaves no room for doubt. And as for that bus? I still take it sometimes. After all, you never know who you might meet who judges too quickly and learns too late.